Ethan had always been a creature of habit, his life structured by deadlines, meetings, and the familiar hum of fluorescent lights. For the past 5 years, he had worked in a corporate office, nestled in a towering glass building in the heart of the city. To him, it was just another place, endless paperwork and mundane tasks. But things began to change on the night of his promotion. It was later than usual. Ethan was still at his desk, clicking away at the final reports for the day. The clock on the wall ticked past midnight, and the office was eerily quiet. His colleagues had long since gone home, and the once bustling office floor now felt like an empty, abandoned expanse. Ethan glanced at the clock again. He should have left hours ago. But something kept him rooted to his seat, a nagging feeling in the back of his mind. Then there was a shift in the air, a subtle change that he couldn't explain. The hum of the overhead lights grew louder, more oppressive, as if they were breathing with a life of their own. He leaned back in his chair and stretched, intending to call it a night. But when he stood up, something was wrong. The hallway outside his office didn't look the same. The carpet was slightly different, darker, worn in some areas, and the hallway stretched on longer than it should have. Confused, he stepped out of his office and walked down the corridor. But the further he went, the more unfamiliar the place became. The offices around him were empty, but it wasn't the usual kind of empty. The air felt thick, heavy, like it had been stale for years. As he rounded a corner, Ethan froze. At the end of the hallway was a door, one he didn't recognize. It was old, though it scratched and chipped. A dim light flickered beneath it, casting strange shadows. He took a hesitant step forward, his heart pounding in his chest. He reached for the door handle, the cold metal sending a shiver through him. When he opened the door, he found himself standing in a room that looked exactly like his own office, his desk, his computer, everything in its place. The only difference was a faint, unplaceable feeling that something was wrong. Ethan's mind raced. Was this some kind of strange office prank? A poorly executed joke by his colleagues? But it didn't make sense. He was sure this room had never existed before. He could see the hallway through the crack in the door, yet it felt as though it had been swallowed by something that shouldn't be there. The door slammed shut behind him. Panic flooded Ethan's chest as he rushed to the door, trying to pull it open. But it wouldn't budge. His fingers fumbled for the handle, but it felt like the door was welded shut. He turned around in the dim office. His desk, his computer, it was all exactly how he had left it. But there was something strange. A subtle hum from the walls, like machinery beneath the floorboards, like something mechanical was moving just out of sight. Ethan backed away from the door. He stared at his desk, where a single folder sat. It was an unmarked file, one he didn't recognize. Compelled by an impulse he couldn't explain, he picked it up and opened it. Inside were pages upon pages of monotonous, meaningless reports. Numbers and data, stacked and stacked, pages and pages of endless work. But then, toward the end of the folder, there was something that stopped his heart cold. Ethan's name. Written over and over again, in a strange, jagged script, along with a single sentence. There is no escape. Before he could react, a sound erupted from behind him, a loud, mechanical whirring. The office lights flickered, casting long, jagged shadows that seemed to stretch toward him like claws. The walls, once static, began to move, slowly, imperceptibly at first, but then with increasing speed. The entire room began to shift, the desk, the walls, the computer, all of it sliding just out of place. Ethan tried to scream, but his voice was swallowed by the eerie hum that surrounded him. His body felt heavy, as if gravity itself had turned against him, pulling him down.